and meet, top expert. This is a place to feel comfortable, right? This is a place to ask the questions you need to ask. This is a place to get the information that you need. So don't you hold back at all. We welcome you, we support you, and everyone can learn, and there's no limit to how much you can get from just being involved and immersed in this space today. So let's get on. I know you're like, this girl doesn't even, she's not even mind this person, she's talking too much, that's fine. Let's get on with what you came from. More wine, more information, more learning. In the next panel, we're gonna get into the legal structures, right? The regulations, the legal, but obviously the policy elements of what it means to be in this space. And I see some of y'all nodding like, yes.
She is based in Accra, Ghana, and in London, in the UK. She is the CEO and founder of Reign Rum, Reign, R-E-I-G-N, as in royalty.
I love
which is why
yes,
those bottles are so extraordinarily beautiful. Amma was educated at the London School of Economics. She is Ghanaian by heritage, was born in London. She decided to go back to her ancestral homeland of Ghana. She purchased the farm, beautiful 30,000 acre farm in the middle of the rainforest outside of Kumasi. And she is producing the world's first premium African rum brand.
Very
and
good.
It's extraordinary. Sold throughout the African continent. And she's absolutely amazing. It's sold throughout the African continent in the UK and soon to be in the US. She's been in North America for a month now. She did an event at Essence Festival. She went to Mexico City for some meetings with investors, and she's back here. She's gone back to New Orleans for Tales of the Cocktail. So I'm almost tired right now, but she's killing it, all right? Very proud to have a couple of members of the Duane Morris family, our firm. Laura?
In layman's terms, because that's how I think it's best for me to understand it. I'm also a member of the Ways and Means Committee, and we deal not just with revenue and tax, but also with trade. And traditionally, just to understand, tariffs are a tax. Tariffs are a tax that are exacted on importers of goods into the United States. It's kind of like a toll bridge. When someone wants to bring something in, they have to pay a tax on it. And you can look down the list of what the item is and where it's coming from, and that can determine what the tax is. In the past, about over 100 years ago, tariffs were the primary tax that America used. The market has said that they're not going to consume American wines. That means now that the American winemakers in California and other places have to either find new markets, or ratchet down the production, or find other markets within the United States to be able to purchase those wines.
So I'm going to state the obvious here, and thank you for that, and say that the way this administration has gone about it doesn't appear to have any strategy behind it. What's the ramifications of that? What's the
It's far-reaching. The ramifications are far-reaching. Now, the S&P and all the stocks, and so businesses aren't able to plan. That's a primary impediment to what's happening. Additionally, consumers are spending more in retail and in consumption and in goods. And it also means that there are some markets that are doing better because they're able to lobby the president or individuals who are making these decisions that are going to affect their businesses.
carbon?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
California, Oregon, Washington State, not doing so much.
Right.
So that's very helpful. You gave us sort of an international perspective, but also internal, domestic look at it as well. All right, speaking of international, Amma, CEO of an award-winning brand based in the US. Give us an idea of some of the challenges that you face, just through your journey as a founder and CEO in the beverage industry, but then specifically trying to break into this market. I mean, obviously, you being a client of the firm, I know this story well. Share this with other people so they can get that perspective as well.
Well, thank you. Can I
a read for how many people in here are business owners of any kind. Self-employed also counts. Okay, maybe like 40% if my maths is accurate. In which case, all of those who raise their hands know that when you run your own business, it's hard work. I think running a business in the alcohol space specifically is challenging because alcohol everywhere in the world is a regulated product. In the US, it's probably more regulated than it is in many other markets. Some of you will be familiar with the 3-tier system that exists here, and then the fact that it's then again very unique and different in every state. And so this conversation around tariffs, honestly, I think when you work in alcohol, you're used to the complexity of taxes and regulation. I think what is happening in the US now adds an additional layer of complexity, and I think most importantly, adds a layer of uncertainty. And I think that's probably, for me, the biggest challenge is just not even knowing what to do and when, and then it's expensive. Like, making alcohol is expensive, trying to sell alcohol around the world is expensive, and then you start investing in a particular market, and then you can't actually ship to that market, and then you've lost a lot of money. For me, I am really proud to have a product that exists from grass to glass. So I'm responsible for over 200 families in Ghana who are growing sugarcane, who are harvesting, who are fermenting, who are distilling the products, which is amazing. But it also means that the ramifications of these things on the market end trickle down, and I'm responsible for all of that. So yeah, definitely challenging. Again, you talked about being international, and you know, my accent is very obvious. Born and raised in the UK, of African heritage from Ghana specifically. And I think as much as there are these challenges when we talk about taxes on products and the movement of products, I think the thing that is often forgotten is that there's also an implication on the movement of people. And the same discrimination that we have for products isn't always the same discrimination that we have against people. So I've just literally landed here from Mexico City 2 days ago. And I went from Florida to Mexico, from Mexico to DC, and the whole time people kept saying to me, be careful, be careful, they're attacking foreigners. And it's this, you know, backlash against what's happening here, against Mexican people. And I'm like, so often, as a Black woman, so often I'm reminded that there are people who create these incredible cultures that are enjoyed around the world, but then the people who make those cultures, who create those cultures, who create those products, who create tequila, tacos, as was earlier mentioned, all of these things that are so globally appreciated, loved, and enjoyed, but then the people who make them don't receive the same level of respect or appreciation. And I think, like I say, because for me, my business starts with people, it starts with farmers who are growing sugarcane, and that's the reason why I do any of this. Whenever I hear about these things, these changes, these policies, I always think about what does it mean for people.
So just so you guys know, I'm was a consultant and was hired to do a feasibility study of the farm, which was actually being run as a plantation. It was being owned by some Europeans. They actually called it a plantation. She did a feasibility study, and afterwards they were like, you want to buy the farm? So she did. When I went to visit her, it is extraordinary. 30,000 acres, beautiful rainforest, and I was like, girl, yes. Right. I was like, you own all this? She was like, I done lost my mind. First time you have that UK accent, and I'm like, you've been watching too much American TV. But the first thing she did was make the workers partners in the business and raise theirs salary by 50%. And they can tell you that they absolutely adore her, all the people who work with her on the farm. All right, so very proud to have a couple of members of the Duane Morris family. As I mentioned, we're a global firm. We have offices throughout the world. Raul, when he leaves here, he's going to work at our Mexico City office on some client stuff. Laura, Raul.
Hi, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here with you all today. As Joe mentioned, I'm in the corporate practice group of our firm in the Washington, D.C. office, and also the international trade practice group. Raul and I are members of our firm's tariff mitigation task force. So we are tracking the developments on a daily basis. There are so many things changing every single day that affect our clients in many different ways. And in our task force, we have attorneys that are multidisciplinary from different practice areas, clients that produce different goods, that import all kinds of things. And at the end of the day, if you import anything, you need to know what's going on with the tariffs. So some of our clients really, besides struggling with the unpredictability, which is massive, right? Every day we see changes. Besides that, really figuring out where they're going to manage the cost of the tariffs. As Congresswoman Plaskett mentioned, people might think that these tariffs are imposed on a foreign government, or maybe they're imposed on the foreign exporter. But in reality, it's the importer of record who's on the hook for the tariffs. And in many cases, these are the small and medium-sized American companies who are responsible for paying the tariffs. And if they can't absorb that cost, then it gets passed to the consumer. So we're trying to help our clients figure out ways to mitigate the tariffs. Maybe we can help them restructure their supply chain. Maybe they can source from different countries, depending on.
Most often thought of in wine, and I know you guys have already been drinking wine, so you've probably been talking a little bit about tannins. From a rum perspective, you can also find tannins in some rums. So, of course, I'm biased. I believe rum is the best and most interesting spirit category that there is. And that's partly because it's only in the category of rum that you can find aged rums, unaged rums, spiced rums, flavored rums, botanical rums. We have a baobab and hibiscus rum that is purple. And when people say to me, I don't drink rum, I'm just like, you just haven't drunk the right rum yet. You haven't found your rum yet. And so, with specific regard to tannins, usually tannins are found in rum when they're aged, and tannins are a molecule, you probably know that, attaches to proteins. In rum making, usually it comes from the maturation process when in barrels. So we often age rum in usually oak barrels, usually ex-bourbon, but you can find port barrels that rum is aged in, for example. We age our rum in ex-cashew apple brandy barrels. Quite a mouthful. So Joseph talked about the farm and estate, which was a plantation. And when I got there and learned it was a plantation, I ran away, to be quite, to clarify. I was like, I don't want anything to do with this. My job is to research. So I did more research on agriculture, particularly on the continent of Africa, but also in many other places in the world, and learned that industrial agriculture is a lot of the systems built in industrial agriculture today were learned from the enslavement of African people around the world. And so the exploitation I was seeing was not unique to the plantation that I found myself at. And the reason I stayed was because if I didn't, I knew that some other Europeans would take over and continue. And so I lost my mind and decided to try and impact that. But yeah, it's almost 2,000 acres. We grow cashews as well as sugarcane that we use to make our rum. And if you know anything about cashews, you probably eat them, you probably like them. When cashews grow, most of the fruit is actually an apple. It's about this big, and then the nut is right at the bottom and it's like this big. So when processing cashews, there's lots of waste in this huge fruit compared to this tiny nut, and the nut takes like 9 days and 13 processes to get from the tree to what you eat. So rather than throwing away those apples, we use them to make brandy. We age those in barrels, and when we decant the brandy, we use that to age our rum. And so it's light rum or dark rum, or the different types of rum. And there's disputes. Bayesian rum from Barbados, or Martinique, or Jamaica, or the different islands as well. And I think it's that notion of ingenuity is something that we are now in a place of thinking about, right? How do we, in the US market, utilize this uncertainty, utilize this isolation that is occurring in the families of the community actually live on the estate. So as I mentioned earlier, I talk about Rain as a grass to glass business where we are growing sugarcane. It's organic. Everything that we grow is organic. We don't add fertilizers, pesticides, anything like that. And in the same day, within a few minutes, we're taking that sugarcane from that waste product you saw coming out is called bagasse, and we use that to power our furnace and also as a natural fertilizer for what we grow. Some of our barrels that we spoke about earlier, and me blending, tasting, and our lead spice is the calabash nutmeg, which is nutmeg, in the Caribbean. We have a nutmeg also in West Africa. We're using hibiscus and baobab to flavor our botanical rum. And hibiscus is something that I'm pretty sure every one of us in this room knows very well. And while I don't have a favorite product, it's my favorite ingredient because I call it the flower of the diaspora, because we all connect with it in all different ways.
Thank you.
The age.
It does not whisper it.
It's the age, yes.
This is the one that you're going to get the tannins. It's pure organic. These are blends, so it's got organic rum in it, but it's not a purely organic product. So yeah, just take time.
Yes. Take it easy. Seriously. Yes. Out of this world. I don't even drink hard liquor, and I'm over here drinking your rum. This is delicious. Because it's out of this world. Yes. Yo, but that's it.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, this is amazing.
Oh, this smells entirely different. This is delicious.
Yes. Yeah, no, her rum is out of this world. Yeah. From 2 years ago. And the bottles are beautiful. It's like art. And it represents the Ashanti stool. So there's a lot of symbolism. The age.
It does not whisper it.
It's the age, yes.
This is the one that you're going to get the tannins. It's pure organic. These are blends, so it's got organic rum in it, but it's not a purely organic product. So yeah, just take time.
Yes. Take it easy.
His team, Todd Henkel from Visit Loudon, to immerse you into what you're going to be experiencing today, but to also take back with you what it means to immerse yourself in what Loudoun County brings to the wine industry. So I'm going to hand it over, and one quick tip.
Latitude and the 50th latitude in both the northern hemispheres and southern hemispheres, where basically all the world-class wine regions are located. So you can look on the map there and you can see, you can kind of pick out Napa, Washington, Oregon. You'll see that it encompasses Western Europe. Down at the bottom you can see Argentina, Chile, South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, all of the major.
Doing things by example, being the first, being selfless, being able to share both in knowledge and experience. And to me right now is very much the same. I think